Rebels on a roll. Mark Rogers TV continuing our spring football series with that program on the rise in Oxford, Mississippi. Ole Miss finished off 2012 blasting arch rival Mississippi State, getting to a bowl game, defeating Pitt in impressive fashion as well. But of course, the day that really marked this program in the Hugh Freeze era, that first Wednesday of February, hauling in a top 5 recruiting class and 3 #1 positional players in high school football. Check out our video post back in February on Ole Miss's recruiting class. It is very, very impressive, and they hope to get quick returns from that recruiting class. Let's look at 2013, starting at quarterback Bo Wallace. Of course, had to have shoulder surgery, sat out all of spring practice. He should be ready to go in August and should be ready to go this fall. 64% in 2012, 22 touchdowns, 17 picks, turned over the ball too many times via fumble and interception to hang in the SEC West. So he's going to have to reduce his mistakes and continue the productivity. Bo Wallace at quarterback for Ole Miss. Him sitting out allowed Hugh Freeze and staff to evaluate the backup quarterback situation with Barry Brunetti, the senior, going 23 of 36 last season. He looks to be in place as the backup. He's also being challenged by Mikhail Miller. At running back, this is a position which Hugh Freeze says has arrived in regards to SEC caliber talent and depth, and it starts with Jeff Scott. He ran for 846 and 8 touchdowns last season. He's going to be pushed 4 carries by Itavius Matthews, who ran for 208 yards last season, and the coaches rave about this kid. Also, you've got Jalen Walton, who had limited carries throughout the season, but made a splash in the bowl game with 56 yards rushing. And then also the true freshman, the guy that's really ultra-talented and could break onto the scene this fall, Mark Dodson. Again, a true freshman in that fine recruiting class by Hugh Freeze. We posted a video a couple months ago of our top 10 wide receivers in college football. We excluded Donte Moncrief, and we heard about it. Donte Moncrief didn't really have a breakout 2012, but what he did do was really lay it on LSU and Mississippi State to conclude the season and finished up with 66 receptions, almost 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. We expect even more of a breakout year from Donte Moncrief in 2013, and we know, Rebel fans, you love to feed Moncrief. He's got a lot of production behind him at wide receiver for Ole Miss. They're in great shape. They got Vince Sanders, who caught 39 for almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. You've got Jameis Logan, who caught 5 for 101 in the spring game and 43 last season with 490 yards and 1 touchdown. You've got Corvick Neat, who caught 25 for 257, and also a guy that coaches and fans are raving about. He had a big spring, this guy Cody. So look out for him as well. Turn the page to defense. The Rebels run both the 4-3 and the 3-4. They're very versatile on defense, and they return 10 of 11 starters. A couple guys we'd like to highlight here. C.J. Johnson, defensive end, a junior coming up this fall, 6.5 sacks last season. D.T. Shackelford missed 2 seasons. He'll be back, and he's very much in the plans for Hugh Freeze's bunch in 2013. Also, Nick Brissell at linebacker. He's a player as well. Also, Channing Ward, the sophomore. He has big upside. And you've got Mike Hilton, the sophomore defensive back. Also, Trey Elston, Quintavious Burdett at the rover back. Big things are expected out of him. And also Chief Brown, who's been a backup, still listed as a backup on the depth chart, but he'll be counted upon in those nickel formations. He had a great spring. Remember the name, and it's easy to remember, Chief Brown. We've run through the defense. We've run down some guys that may stand out, not necessarily the best players, but some X factors on defense. Just got familiar with these guys as I read my sheet just in the last few days. Rebel fans, we need you to step up. Tell us about your football team in 2013. The recruiting class was ridiculous. Sure, you look to contend and build upon that in future years. But how much more improved will you be in 2013? Can you contend with Bama, LSU, Texas A&M in the best division in college football. Need to hear from you now on Mark Rogers TV.